Family Math Discussion Plan. Veroica Vasquez, ECD 322, Cognition and General Knowledge, Science, Math, Logic and Reasoning. Catherine Casey, January 25th, 2026. Classroom context, ages 4 to 5, developmental stage, growing number, sense, and reasoning. Typical math learning, counting, shapes, patterns, comparing quantities. The children in my classroom are ages 4 to 5 years old. At this stage, preschoolers build foundations in number sense, counting, and early problem solving. They learn to count with purpose, recognize numbers, compare quantities, and explore shapes and patterns through hands-on experiences. Research from our course materials shows that number sense develops gradually through repeated, meaningful interactions rather than memorization alone. Understanding this context helps families see that math learning happens every day through play routines and conversations. Building relationships first. Building trust with families. Relationships come before math conversations. Respect family backgrounds, experiences, and needs. Ongoing communication and connection. How I connect with families. Daily drop-off and pick-up conversations. Classroom and email updates. Phone calls and family conferences. Morning coffee chats. Relationship building happens over weeks and months, not one conversation. Building strong relationships with families is the foundation for meaningful math conversations. Before discussing math, I build trust by learning about families' backgrounds, experiences, and communication styles. The families I work with are diverse. Some feel confident discussing learning, while others might feel unsure because of past experiences with school or math. I build relationships through daily drop-off and pick-up conversation, classroom communication app, appointments, emails, and phone calls when needed. This relationship building happens over weeks and months through consistent, respectful interactions. Modules 1 and 2 emphasizes that strong family relationships support children's learning and encourage engagement. Anderson and Gold, from my experiences, when families feel respected and valued, they are more open to collaborating and discussing their child's math learning in supportive ways. Planning math discussions. When and how conversations occur. Daily drop-off and pick-up, check-ins, scheduled Zoom or in-person meetings, 2 formal parent-teacher conferences each year, additional one-on-one meetings scheduled with the director. Where? Classroom, office, or conference room, as well as online Zoom as needed. Duration, quick 5-minute updates, scheduled 15 to 30-minute conferences. And then preparation, child observations, work samples and assessments, lesson plans, and learning goals. Math discussions with families happen in both informal and formal ways. Brief conversations often occur during drop-off and pickup, allowing families to share quick updates or ask questions. More in-depth discussions take place during 2 scheduled parent-teacher conferences each year, as well as an additional one-on-one meeting scheduled with me in my role as director. As a private preschool with an accelerated K-8 program, we enjoy meeting with families to discuss each child's academic journey and growth. These conversations are especially meaningful in January, near our enrollment deadline. Together, we celebrate children's math growth, problem-solving skills, and readiness while listening closely to the hopes and questions families bring. To support these interactions, I rely on intentional communication strategies and evidence-informed practices. Active listening is a key part of these discussions. I ensure families feel heard by allowing time for questions, reflecting their concerns, and collaborating on next steps. Course readings emphasize that family engagement is strongest when communication is two-way, responsive. Culturally responsive teaching. Culturally responsive teaching. Culture, language, and family experiences as strengths. Inclusive, respectful math communication. Math connected to families' daily routines. Family voices and knowledge valued in learning. What this looks like in the classroom. Classroom examples reflect families' real-life math experiences. In my classroom, culturally responsive teaching means linking math to families' real-life experiences and values. Many families I work with already use math through cooking, shopping, budgeting, building, or organizing routines. By showing these links, I help families see they already support their child's math learning at home. When I use family routines and math talks, families feel validated and more confident. This practice aligns with culturally responsive ideas, which view family culture as an asset rather than a barrier. The Head Start multicultural principles state that honoring families' background strengthens relationship and supports equal learning chances for all children. Caregiver questions. Purpose of caregiver questions. Understand family values, beliefs, and experiences with math. Learn how math is used at home. Build shared understanding between home and school. Questions for caregivers. 1. How does your child use math or problem solving at home? 2. What activities does your family engage that involve counting or thinking? 3. What was your own experience with math growing up? 4. How do you support your child when they are figuring something out? 5. What goals do you have for your child's learning this year? Asking intentional questions allows me to better understand families' values, beliefs, and practices related to math. The families I work with have different experiences with math, which influence how children view themselves as learners. Anderson and Gold explain that families' numeracy practices shape children's mathematical identities, underscoring the importance of listening carefully to families' perspectives. When I ask caregivers about math at home, I am not looking for the right answers. Instead, I want families to feel comfortable sharing their experiences and routines. Active listening helps build trust and shows families that their knowledge is valued. Course materials emphasize that culturally responsive educators create space for family voices and reflection, thereby strengthening engagement and collaboration. Explaining math learning. How I explain math learning to families. Math happens through play, routines, and conversations. Children learn math by doing, talking, and problem solving. Math concepts we teach, ages 4 to 5, counting and number sense, number relationships and simple operations, shapes and spatial awareness, measurement and patterns, Head Start math subdomains, number sense, geometry and spatial sense, measurement and comparison, patterns and reasoning. When explaining math learning to families, I use clear, parent-friendly language to show how math is a natural part of classroom experiences. Instead of memorizing facts, children build understanding through play, exploration, and conversation, such as counting blocks, comparing sizes, or building patterns. Preschool math, as outlined in the Head Start Early Learning Outcome Framework, includes number sense, geometry, measurement, and patterns. In my classroom, children count objects to develop how many, explore addition, subtraction, and play, practice spatial skills with blocks and puzzles, and compare length, weight, and capacity through hands-on activities. Modules 1 and 2 highlight that families are more engaged when math is shared in accessible ways. When families see math as play and problem solving, they feel empowered to support their child's learning at home. Play materials. How play supports math learning. Free play, blocks, dramatic play, puzzles, outdoor play, measuring, counting, comparing, structured activities, games, small group, math experiences, math materials we use, blocks and building materials, counting, collections and manipulatives, sorting and pattern materials, measuring tools, cups, scales, rulers. I've also included a couple pictures with materials as well as counting blocks. In my classroom, play forms the basis for learning math. Free play lets children count, solve problems, and understand spatial relationships as they use blocks or act out scenarios. Outdoor play offers opportunities to measure distance, count steps, compare sizes, and find patterns. In nature, structured activities help children practice math skills while keeping learning fun and engaging. The materials we use, such as counting, collection, sorting, objects, puzzles, measuring tools, support children in development, number sense, reasoning, and problem-solving skills. Course context from modules 1 and 2 emphasize that hands-on, play-based experience help children build a deeper understanding of math when worksheets or no instructions. Caregiver collaboration. Caregiver collaboration strategies. 1. Discover families' math identities. Conversations, surveys, and open-ended questions. 2. Learn how families see math at home. Listening to routines, games, and daily experiences. 3. Bridge home and school math learning. Sharing simple, meaningful math strategies families can use at home. Collaborating with caregivers is essential for children's math learning. I learned about families' math identities by inviting them to share their experiences through conversations, reflective questions. Understanding families' feelings about math helps me approach discussions with sensitivity and respect. To learn how families see math at home, I asked about daily routines like cooking, shopping, and playing games. These conversations help families recognize math in everyday life. Modules 1 and 2 show that acknowledging family knowledge builds engagement and trust. I connect home and school math by sharing simple play-based activities families can use at home. These include counting objects during routines or noticing patterns together. Families feel more confident and connected when they see school math in home life. This collaboration strengthens family school partnerships and supports children's confidence and success in math. Reflection and AI use statement. Reflection on learning. Creating this family math discussion plan helped me reflect on how intentionally building relationships and using culturally responsive practices strengthened family engagement in math learning. Through modules 1 and 2, I gained a deeper understanding of how families' beliefs, experience, and identities with math influence how they support their children. Planning these conversations reminded me that effective math discussions are about listening, building trust, and collaborating with families, not just sharing information. This process highlighted the need to explain math learning clearly and connected classroom concepts to daily life. As a private preschool director with an accelerated K-8 pathway, I am now better prepared to help families assess readiness and make informed choices. I am committed to using relationship-based, culturally responsive strategies to build strong family partnerships that foster children's math confidence and success. AI statement. AI tools were used for editing, organization, and clarity. Support only. All ideas, reflections, examples, and instructional decisions presented in the slideshow are based on my current preschool program, professional experience, and course materials for modules 1 and 2. The content reflects the families, children, practices within my program and represents my own understanding of family engagement, culturally responsive teaching, and early math learning. Here's a list of my references for modules 1 and 2, are all listed here of everything that I read, as well as looked at, the videos I watched, and incorporated into my slides. Thank you for watching my video. Here's a little picture of my classroom with the co-teacher doing an afternoon circle time, reading a story. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye.